So in this demo we will show you how to create this stair. This is a stair with a landing and with a winder box. So we will create it with the function create winder stair, and we show you here the model that is set up with stringers that are made out of metal and have a sawtooth shape, and also some cables you see here going up and around. And we also, if you zoom in here, you see that we have also underneath the threads these brackets to hold the threads in its place. And we have also up and around some balustrades. We will start a new project. Here we have the project parameters. We choose also our norm file that Staircon can determine if it's according to the norm. I say OK. We have a specific height, floor thickness. I just take 120, and maybe we take a tile as a floor. So we are now in our plan view. We have different ways of creating a stair. In this case, I will show you that we can create a stair with winders. This is a feature we have for many years, and where you can say how many threads you want, if you want to have a specific fixed winder, and how many threads you want afterwards. And maybe we take, instead of a landing, maybe 2 threads, and I end up with 3 threads. We can say what the width is, what the run is, which model. So in this case I will show you a metal stringer in sawtooth shape, and the balustrade attached to it is a handrail over the posts, so we will see some metal balusters. I want to have some stringers around the landing, so I check that on. On the outside I want to have some walls, and I also want to auto create a floor opening on the stair size. I could have it for the smaller size, or I could not have a floor opening. So for this time I want to have it according to the stair size. So I say place. So you see the stair shape already. Staircon asks where you want to place it, because Staircon has unlimited space, but we do want to have it just centered from our screen. So I push enter. The angle, let's say 180 degrees horizontal. And now everything is created automatically. We have a floor opening, stair is done. You see here, you can see if it's according to the code, and if it's the run and the rise is correct. So 7.5 inch run seems to be okay. So we see here that we have in this model set up to make automatically these brackets. We call it thread supports in this case, and it's calculated on the length of the threads. So when it's longer, it makes more, and they start at 1/2 inch or 1 inch from the edge. So in this case we can choose, okay, which side do we still want to have it. Maybe this one I don't want, so I just can select things and delete it. I can actually do that with everything basically that I see on my screen. So I have here this one that I don't want, and I can also interactively move them if I want that, but in this case I just select a few that are correct. And this is basically what let's look in 3D if there's anything else we would like to change. But as you can see, the landing comes in perfectly. Here also some winder threads. Our stringers are exactly how we want them. We see here the bolts underneath are perfect. And later on you can see for the production data it will make also the holes in the threads, and those can be used for production as well. So these stringers, if we would look in elevation view and I double click on this is what Staircon does for this model, because we have different ways of calculating the stringers. In this case it's a house stringer, and we say that the shape is a sawtooth. So Staircon has many different ways of doing it, but in this case a sawtooth for the front and the end, and how much and how thick it is, how width it is. So we can change this on the fly, but this is actually a 6 inch width that we want, and we want it to follow from the front of the thread and the top of the threads. So that's actually basically doing what we want. If I look in both sides, we see this looks quite okay. And maybe here, this one, just thinking out loud, we could have some help from help lines if you want, and snap points and put them on a different position. So this one I want to put here, so it's totally on the floor. And let's see here on the left side, just thinking out loud, maybe here a help line. So these help lines are very useful to just flexible pick points and move them around. So I pick now this point. I can also select multiple points, or select now in this case 2 points and say I want to have a radius or a straight part. This is more straight parts we are doing here. And let's say this one, I want it to follow the floor. Apply. So now everything goes to the floor. And I think this would be nice. Here you also see the construction that we have a plate underneath in case you want that. So this is basically the stair that's done. Most likely we would like to have some walls up and around and some balustrade, so let's start doing that. So I have now my first floor, so we create a floor above. We can give it a name, but if we don't, then Staircon will do that for you. So it's going to be floor 2 in this case. I say okay. If it is a different height and stuff, you can obviously change that. Also, if you have a different flooring upstairs, you can change that, but for now we just say okay. And we start drawing some walls. Let's zoom in. So from here, and basically I just snap to these lines that I see from the floor below, and I can hide or unhide things that I see below. So in this case I see the total floor below. If I go to view, you can see down and up, and all the parts I can hide or unhide. Also, if you reconsider to say, well, I want to have this longer, just having snap lines would help you. So I take this point and I move it a little bit longer. So let's look in 3D what we have now. So we have a nice floor, but we want to have some balcony railing here as well. So what I do now is I click on this auto create balustrade, and it will look where there's no balustrade yet, and it places now that balustrade. Again, this is set up in the model, so we have a model set up that it does this stringers automatically the way it does. It places these bolts underneath, it places the balustrades on the stair, and it detects that when there's a wall that it doesn't need to do anything. We could also have a wall rail if we wanted, and on the balcony railing on the floor, it also places here exactly on the edge of the floor opening this railing, and it makes it all nice mitered together. So I think I'm basically done. I can give you a quick view of what we can do if we go to production. So Staircon is not only very good in 3D designing the stair, but we can also calculate production data. Not going to show everything, but let's say we calculate one-to-one drawings and also full scale. We can combine threads per plank or a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to focus to that at this moment. I just say okay, just to give you a quick view that we can print it on full scale. So you see here all the stringers with all the shape, with all the where the threads need to be placed on. Here you see the thread itself with the drillings, with where the plates are based underneath, and all these are also automatically dimensioned, and you can put the auto dimension as much as you can see here or a little bit less, and we can print it and we can export it as a DXF if you have your own laser CNC, or if you have our Staircon CAM, we also can directly generate and C code for you. So from here we can export it, and there is something shared 3D model, and you can say via upload sketchweb. So that's what we're gonna do. And what it does now, it automatically uploads it to the sketchweb account. So you can have your own sketchweb account, and you can share then this with your customer. I hope this was an interesting movie, and please have a look at the 3D model in case that you would like to see it in more detail. Thank you. Bye-bye.